What if your favorite political party is actively destroying your local community? You vote in every election and support politicians who promise massive change. You desperately want affordable housing, cleaner energy, and beautiful modern cities. Your elected leaders completely agree and pass massive, highly expensive spending bills. But years later, absolutely nothing has actually been built in your neighborhood. The housing crisis is worse, and public infrastructure is completely falling apart. Where did all those massive billions of taxpayer dollars actually go? What if the modern political system is perfectly designed to block absolutely everything? What if politicians secretly prefer complaining over actually building real physical solutions? If you click away now, you will remain completely politically blind forever. You will completely misunderstand why American progress is totally stalled right now. Wake up, because the entire political system is trapped in manufactured scarcity. In this video, I will permanently shatter your traditional political worldview today. I will give you 3 exact frameworks to understand the abundance agenda. You will learn exactly why progressive overregulation completely destroys real progress. I will show you how perfectly chosen scarcities are keeping you poor. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand supply-side progressivism. You will see why throwing money at problems without building completely fails. You will stop accepting terrible political excuses for massive public failure, and I will give you the specific blueprint to demand an abundant future. This is not a highly partisan, completely biased political argument for either side. This is a brilliant, clear diagnosis of how we completely lost our way. Pay very close attention, because this new framework can actually save society. The paradigm-shifting book we are breaking down today is called Abundance. It was brilliantly co-authored by 2 massive modern journalistic titans today. Ezra Klein is a highly respected, famous columnist for the New York Times. Thompson is a brilliant staff writer at The Atlantic magazine. Why should you strictly listen to these 2 incredibly smart political journalists? Because they completely abandoned their highly comfortable traditional political talking points. They realized that modern blue states were completely failing their own citizens. They saw massive progressive cities with incredible wealth but absolutely terrifying homelessness. They realized that simply redistributing wealth absolutely cannot solve massive physical shortages. They originally wrote separate viral essays about supply-side progressivism and technological abundance. They combined their brilliant minds to expose the ideological conspiracy blocking progress. They wrote this book to completely jumpstart a totally new political era. The first major concept completely destroys traditional, modern, liberal political strategy. Modern progressives constantly focus heavily on massive financial redistribution to solve poverty. They simply want to give poorer people more money to buy expensive things. But the authors mathematically prove that giving out money without building fails. If you give everyone money for housing but block new apartment construction, the exact same number of houses exist, but the prices skyrocket violently. This is exactly what the authors call a perfectly manufactured, chosen scarcity. Progressives must urgently transition from a politics of blocking to building. Let me give you my brutally honest take on this massive failure. If a politician votes for housing subsidies but blocks local neighborhood construction, they are a massive hypocrite who is actively worsening the housing crisis. True progressive politics must relentlessly focus on massive physical supply, not demand. The second major concept completely exposes the terrifying trap of extreme overregulation. Society constantly tells you that massive regulation perfectly protects the general public. We are told environmental laws and community reviews stop greedy, evil corporations. But Klein and Thompson prove that these exact laws are completely weaponized today. Wealthy homeowners use environmental protection laws to block affordable housing near them. Massive infrastructure projects are delayed for decades by endless, highly expensive lawsuits. The system is so obsessed with balancing diverse interests that nothing happens. The authors argue this extreme overregulation renders true progressive change completely impossible. We have created a massive political system that exclusively rewards saying no. The left completely hobbled the government with endless bureaucracy and legal red tape. Meanwhile, The right actively fought the government to totally defund it entirely. This toxic combination creates a deeply pathetic, completely paralyzed modern American government. This brings us to the most controversial and highly powerful idea presented. We must urgently adopt a massive, highly aggressive, completely unashamed abundance agenda. This requires a totally massive psychological shift in how we view the future. We must completely abandon the highly toxic, deeply pessimistic modern scarcity mindset. We must stop viewing massive technological progress as a completely terrifying peril. Instead, we must actively embrace the incredible promise of bold new ideas. The authors champion incredibly strong leadership that actively bypasses endless community reviews. They are deeply skeptical of courts and local organizations constantly blocking massive progress. To have the glorious future we want, we must aggressively invent it. We must actually build massive nuclear power plants to solve clean energy. We must build millions of affordable homes completely without endless legal delays. This abundance agenda is the absolute ultimate cure for toxic modern populism. So, what is my absolute honest personal review of this highly political book? The absolute best thing about abundance is its highly refreshing, aggressive optimism. It completely destroys the incredibly depressing, highly stagnant modern political conversation today. Is there a massive flaw or something these brilliant journalists completely missed? Some critics argue their deep technological optimism is incredibly naive and historically blind. They heavily champion nuclear power without fully respecting massive historical implementation failures. Their deep suspicion of community review boards might accidentally empower massive corporate greed. But who exactly is this incredibly powerful, paradigm-shifting political book written for? If you are deeply frustrated by massive urban homelessness and failing infrastructure, read this. If you genuinely want a highly optimistic, massive vision for the future, read this. This amazing book is the ultimate blueprint to make America actually build again. Now it is finally time to completely demand true abundance in your life. Here are 3 highly actionable, completely zero-cost steps you can take tomorrow morning. Step 1. Aggressively stop fully supporting politicians who only talk about massive wealth redistribution. Start heavily voting for local leaders who actively approve massive new physical construction. Step 2. Immediately identify exactly how manufactured scarcity is directly hurting your local community today. Show up to local city meetings and aggressively demand massive housing approvals. Step 3. Completely unplug from the highly toxic, deeply pessimistic, doom-scrolling mainstream news cycle. Actively embrace a highly optimistic mindset that aggressively demands massive technological progress. You literally have the absolute power to demand a completely abundant future today. But you must immediately stop accepting the totally paralyzed, completely broken political status quo. If you genuinely want the full breakdown of this exact strategy, I have something. Download the completely free PDF summary of this amazing book in the description below. If this highly controversial video completely changed your perspective, violently smash that subscribe button. You can also directly buy me a cup of coffee using the simple link below. Until next time, keep aggressively demanding progress and fully embrace absolute abundance.